Evening. Has everybody got wine? I saw someone came in with a bucket of wine. Brilliant. I knew it would be you. I'll be over there in a bit. I've given quite a few talks and shared quite a lot about Propellernet in the past, but I haven't really told my story. So I'm going to take a bit of a risk today. There's some raw stuff in here, but I'm with 250 of my fellow female collaborators, so I'm sure that's going to be fine. And some male collaborators. I'm sure that's going to be fine. My Twitter handle, if you'd like to tweet me about this or come and talk to me afterwards, would be brilliant. Love to know what you think. Nikki Gatenby, 1T. So I'm going to share my story and overcoming some obstacles. Are you ready? I can't find a pulse for the words I distinctly remember as I lay on the pavement in Battersea High Street on Tuesday the 10th of April 2010. To this day, I don't know who said those words, and it took me a while to realise that it was my elusive pulse that they were talking about. And in those moments that seemed like hours, the hushed voices of the paramedics turned into action, and they moved my lifeless form from the road to a stretcher with neck brace still on, motorbike helmet still in place. It was 8:22 a.m. and I'd just become a crash statistic. As the police later attested, I'd been knocked off my bike by a reckless driver who for some reason thought that mowing me down might get her to work earlier on time. I still wonder, though, to this day, if I was concentrating. Although I was the one who was deemed innocent, I wonder if I was concentrating. Was I there? Was I the driver of my life? Was I thinking about what I should have been thinking about? Or was I thinking about work? I don't know the answer to that, but I still wonder about it. And as I was wheeled into the ambulance and the doors shut and the sirens started, I started to panic. Has anybody else been in the back of an ambulance before? Yeah, third time for me. Not that I'm accident prone or anything, but I was thinking, God, this is loud, this is disorientating, it's really quite scary. It's like being on a roller coaster and you don't know when it's going to end. And I was there on the stretcher, unable to move, which for me is the most awful position to be in because I'm a big fan of freedom, both physical and mental. And as I lay there unable to move, I thought, shit, is this it? Is this it for me? No, it can't possibly be it. There's too many places I want to go, too many people I want to see, too many dreams I've got to fulfill. This can't be it. And I realised at that moment, or in the 9 minutes that it took to get from Battersea High Street to Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, which in rush hour traffic is nothing short of a miracle, how vulnerable I'd made myself and put myself in danger, and actually something had to change. Now, as my father said to me, I've always been born with a lucky spoon in my mouth. Not a silver spoon, a lucky spoon. I can get myself into some right old scrapes, hence 3 trips in an ambulance, throw myself at life and come out of the other side feeling good. And I wondered if it would happen this time, as I could hear the beep of the ECG machine. To cut a long story short, I did get up and I did walk away. And I went back to work in the London advertising agency, and I didn't actually make a change that I should have done. I didn't make a change on the outside. I felt a change on the inside, but I didn't make a change on the outside. So I went back to work at the London advertising agency, where I was deemed a success. I was fast climbing the career ladder. I was an account director at the age of 25, on the associate board as client services director with a team of 100 shortly after, and I was having a wonderful time, putting together one of the biggest pitches the agency had ever done. It was for the pan-European work for Nissan Europe, covering 26 markets over the next 2 to 5 years, and it was worth millions. Roll forward a few months, and I'd moved to Paris. We'd won the business, and I set up the French arm of the London agency. You might wonder why Paris if it's Nissan. Well, Nissan and Renault own 50% of each other, and the head office is just outside Paris. And there I was, once again, living the life of Riley, or so it seemed, set up in the apartment in the 6th arrondissement of one of the most beautiful cities of our world, just down the road from the Jardin de Luxembourg. It was amazing. We'd won the biggest piece of business the agency had ever won, and we partied like it was 1999. I was responsible for the strategy and delivery of my agency's part to play in 16 car launches. The first being cars like Nissan 350Z, which sold out 6 months before it actually launched, which was a game changer for Nissan, as we all know the brand of old. The Qashqai, which sold out in millions and changed their perspective from a global point of view. The Micra, which was a mainstay, and also the mighty Nissan GTR. I had quite a lot of fun in that car. These cars took me around the world. I had an amazing time. It was exciting. It was intense. I was on 90-hour weeks. I'd not had a weekend off in a long time. My social life was in serious need of resuscitation, as a couple of my lovely friends who are here will attest to. And my fitness levels were through the floor. And I woke up one morning unable to move. Bit of a theme going on here. This time, no one had crashed into me. I'd done it myself. I put myself in this position and I'd become a burnout statistic, and the crash was down to me. But that also meant that there was no one there to call an ambulance. There was just me with the thoughts in my head and the pain in my chest. Now, I'm lucky, as we know. It wasn't a heart attack, but it was my body's way of telling me to calm the hell down and do something different. And this time, I listened. This time, I made a change not only on the inside, but on the outside. And shortly after that, I decided if I can get up, I'm going to make a change and make a big one. So I resigned from my job, the glittering career in advertising that I'd always coveted, where I'd made some lifelong friends and learnt so much. And don't get me wrong, it was an amazing journey, but I didn't listen to the other signals that were going on. I didn't listen to my heart. So when I resigned, my boss was amazing. He said, yep, I understand, you need a break, you need to go and do something different, but please don't leave. Why don't you go on a 3-month paid sabbatical, thank you very much, and go do something amazing, go on another adventure, go and put your creativity and innovation into something else. So we did. Off I went with my husband-to-be at the time on sabbatical to South America to see some of those people we wanted to see, go to some of those places I wanted to go to, and live some of the dreams that were going around in my head. So we rode polo horses in the polo fields of Argentina. We saw sunsets that were warming your heart and your soul. We saw the world from the bird's eye view from helicopters. Some of you may have seen this. It's the Devil's Throat on the border of Brazil and Argentina at the Iguazu Falls. Quite an amazing place to be. And we climbed waterfalls we never knew existed. But the biggest thing for me was going to the Rio Carnival. Has anyone been to the Rio Carnival? Oh my God, it's a mind-blowing experience. I've wanted to do it ever since I was this high. I think it was when I saw the Mardi Gras on a James Bond film. I thought, I really want to go there. The madness, the glitz, the glamour, the dancing, the music. To me, it was like heaven. So for all of you who haven't been, it's actually a competition, the Rio Carnival. It's full of wonder and possibility. And it's for all the local schools to prove their creativity and innovation and to win a prize, which is worth millions. It's actually housed now not in the streets of Brazil, but in the Sambadrome. Look at the hair, I think it was quite humid there. It's a mile-long street, and all the dance schools of the land gets together to show off their wonderful costumes, their amazing dance, and their collective ingenuity. And you can really feel it. This is just one of the dance schools. It's hard to describe the wave of emotion that goes over you when you can see this stuff, time and time again for 9 hours, in the street, dancing to the beat of the samba drum, watching school after school, 5,000 children putting on this event, dancing to the beat of their own drum, dancing to the beat that they really, really love, and that's really contagious amongst all of them. The sound of that drum is going to stay with me forever. And it made me resolute that I was never going to dance to the beat of anybody else's drum ever again. I was going to dance to the beat of my drum. And that brings me to Propellinet, where I'm MD and co-owner of a lovely agency that we've made one of the best places to work in the UK for the last 4 years running. And that's a really deliberate strategy. And I'm really proud to say earlier in this month, we were awarded the 4th year of being a great place to work in the UK. But also we were awarded the recognition of excellence in well-being, which for someone who's had a couple of crashes in her life is a big thing. So I'm delighted to say that those awards are on our shelves now, and we're proud to show them off. So Propellernet is a place for everyone to dance to the beat of the drum that we've set. It's where we aim to make life better through our marketing, through our work and our play. It's our mission, our purpose, if you like, and it's right there in our logo. Our work is all about making clients famous online. Google is the most influential media space in the world today, so our work is about world-class marketing to help our clients be found for their products and services in the search rankings. Clients like these, I won't go through them all, but Sports Shoes we've worked with for 8 years, and we've accelerated their global expansion plan way faster than business plan, and they've got a return on investment from us of over 900%. Koronia, a luxury holiday company, and they do holidays to the Maldives, the Indian Ocean, and last couple of weeks ago we won the European Search Award for the best use of PR in this market. Forest Holidays, again, we've accelerated their business plan, but their business faster than the business plan. And now we're working with them on their purpose to help more people explore the forest and get outside and deal with some of the health issues we've got in this country. So overall, our aim through our work is to help our brands be number one in people's minds and number one in search engines. And it's my personal mission that we do that and avoid at all costs anybody else becoming a crash or a burnout statistic. Because there's more to that than in life. There's so many dreams to fulfill. And part of the reason we're one of the best places to work is because of our everyday working practices and values. The top 2 are the ones that clients buy, and the bottom 3 are the ones that they tend to feel when they start working with us. And when it starts at the beginning, when I interview somebody, I say to them, show me what's innovative and what you enjoy about innovation. Show me your sense of creativity. What's your spirit of adventure like? Are you fun to work with? Do you look after yourself? Really important. Because if we can engage from a values perspective, it's the first step of having a great place to work. And if you've read this book, The Happiness Manifesto, brilliant book about engagement at work, Henry Stewart cites a global survey that only 21% of people who are working in the world are actually engaged in their job. And as Gary Hamel said, he turned it around to the London Business School, the other 79% may be physically on the job, but they've left their enthusiasm and ingenuity at home. And to me, that's a massive waste. I'm sure it is to all of us. And one thing I'm really proud about at Propellernet, because of the values we have and the way we operate and dancing to the beat of our own drum, is we flipped it. Our engagement levels, 82% of our team are fully engaged. And it's really working for us. People are motivated in bringing their ingenuity and creativity into the business. There's a whole row of Propellernet people there I'm looking at now. A key factor is that we've decided to stay small. We've got an artificial break on the number of people in our business at 60, and there's 50 of us now. So every seat is precious, and everybody knows that, and everyone's playing on their A game. And we work hard to make life better for our colleagues, our clients, and their customers. So it's an adventure, and it's working. In terms of our clients, 95% of them say they would recommend us to other people, and most of them do, which means we're not cold pitching all the time, which means our conversion rate is brilliant, which means we're not exhausting ourselves. In terms of customers, we're winning awards, and it feels great. We get great feedback from the impact our clients feel from the work we do with their customers. And on top of the 82% engagement rate, when we did the last Great Places to Work survey, 100% of our team said that they thought Propellinet was a great place to work, which I take to be as a great accolade of something that we're doing right. And we live our dreams as part of our business plan. Now, some of you who've seen me talk before will know what this is. This is a dream ball machine. It's in our reception, and in the dream ball machine there are capsules, and inside those capsules are the names of everybody in the agency who's passed their probation. And one of the reasons I love my job is I have dream ball consultations with everybody, and I ask them, what would you do to make the agency really successful? And if that happens, what can we do to help make one of your dreams come true? And it's a brilliant conversation to have. I've got about 300 dreams going around in my head from the people in the agency. So when we won the Great Places to Work award, because we'll pull a dream ball if we win an award, or we hit a target, or just because it's sunny, because there's no rules around dreams, we released 2 dream balls. And this is Jim and Steve, and their collective dream was to go off to the Rio World Cup together. There's a Brazil link in there somewhere. That's something they've both wanted to do since they were about 5 years old, go to the World Cup. You can imagine the loyalty amongst these guys and the talkability amongst their friends and family. Alan's dream ball came out last summer, and he said he wanted to motorbike across Africa. Now, Alan didn't even have a motorbike license at the time, and this looks like more of a nightmare than a dream to me, but he had a wonderful time, and he came back in one piece, which was a relief. And this is how random dreams are. Helen's dream ball came out, and she said that she wanted to go to Vegas to renew her wedding vows with her husband. And this is her and her husband coming back from meeting their pastor at the time, who was Elvis, having been remarried. But it's not about waiting for your dream ball to drop. And this is where it gets quite serious, but in a really inspiring way. Our dreams are now part of our business plan, because we don't believe you should separate the dreams that you have and the work-life that you have. If you can pull them together, you're going to have a much more exciting time. So there are many of these on our business plan. I'm going to share just 3 of them. They're important because we're going to pick them out later. This is Sophie, sitting there. Sophie is one of our creative strategists, and her dream was to go on safari. Through a number of fortuitous conversations, we're now working with a safari company in Namibia called Wild Dogs. Now, wild dogs have an incredible purpose. They're all about preserving the wild dogs out in Namibia because they're becoming extinct. They're also about enhancing life of the people that work for them and enhancing the life of the children of the people that work for them. And they're about enhancing life of orphans, both animals and children. They work with local orphanages, and they work with the AfriCat Foundation, which is orphaned animals. they have an incredible purpose, but they don't have enough money to pay for marketing right now. So what we've agreed with them is a pro bono relationship where we do their marketing and they pay us in free safaris, which is pretty compelling for the team. I think about 12 of us have lined up to go on safari. I'm going in a couple of weeks. Something I probably wouldn't have done without this connection, and something probably a lot of our team wouldn't have done either. This dream is very much part of our business plan. This is Mark. Mark is a musician, and he has a grudge against manufactured music and wants more independent music to be out there in the world. This is where dreams are completely mad. Mark has written a sci-fi rock opera, which he wants to put on and have live. I haven't got the video of it, but I can share it with you. We decided to put on the sci-fi rock opera, which is about a band of renegade freedom fighters in the world of music called the Red Stars. And we've taken over the Brighton Digital Festival once, the closing party of that. I don't know if any of you are there. And we took over the closing party of a festival we had out in the Alps. And the Red Stars came to life, the Red Stars being a number of musicians in the agency who crash onto the stage wearing Russian fighter pilot helmets with Red Stars on. It's a brilliant laugh, it's really good fun, and it really helps the creativity and ingenuity of those people who enjoy their jobs more. And there's loads that the Red Stars are going to be doing going forward. Now, to take it up a level, because dreams can get madder, we've decided to make it into a film. So we're working on Wars, or We Are Red Stars, and the scripts have been written, actors have been cast, and we're starting to film it, aiming for a premiere in September down at the Duke of York's. Mark's business, Mark's idea, Mark's dream is definitely part of our business plan. And we have this random dream that we may even win a BAFTA, because you've got to dream big, yeah? And this is Jim. Jim's one of the board directors and co-founders of Propellernet, and he had a dream to get into property development. We have a really good cash flow in the agency because we do great work for the clients and make them quite a lot of money. But that cash doesn't actually get a return just sitting in the bank. So Jim had this idea of, you know what, I'd love to buy a property, but all of us have got mortgages, none of us can afford to do it. Can I take some of that cash sitting in our bank and buy a big house in Brighton and chop it up into flats, sell it, make a profit, put the money back in the agency? Okay, we know there's a housing issue in Brighton, so that sounds like a good thing to do. And I've got 300 dreams going around in my head, and I know that a lot of our team want to get onto the property ladder. So we thought, wouldn't it be lovely if we could help them? Because you know what it's like buying a house in Brighton, particularly a starter home. You're 15 deep in a queue to get in the door in the first place. 5 people have got cash coming down from London buying a second home. The competition is incredible. So why don't we offer those houses that those flats we're going to make the house into to our team? Which is exactly what we did in the meeting we had, a company meeting called New News in February. Now, they've got to pay for them. We're not giving them away. They've got to get a mortgage and get a deposit. But we said to the guys, look, we're going to take the competition out of the market and enable you to get on the property ladder, which I have to say was met with tears of happiness when we talked about it, and it's definitely about making life better. This dream, again, is very much part of our business plan. That's the house. It's currently being smashed up. So that gives you a flavour of some of the dreams that we've got as part of the business plan that help us live our purpose. But you know, it's not perfect, and there's always room for improvement. And until recently, I really thought that there was something missing, something personal for me, and it turns out for others. I'm surrounded by a bunch of incredibly talented people. I'm not just saying it because you're in the room. But I know that the agency will run really well, and I wanted to see if we could push Make Life Better beyond our walls and beyond our clients and further into our community. So I've been looking for a non-exec charity role for quite a long time, but I couldn't find anything that I thought I could really make a difference. Until Linda Saltwell, the CEO from the Trust for Developing Communities, approached me. I hadn't heard of them at the time. Has anybody here heard of the Trust for Developing Communities? Lovely, brilliant. I'm glad some of you have. They're an incredible charity. And Linda said, I'm looking for a business-oriented trustee for my charity board. She also said some really flattering things like how high profile I was and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yep, Linda, flattery is going to get you everywhere. Let's go for a coffee. So we had a chat, and Linda told me some stuff that the TDC do. And I was amazed. And I was also amazed that I didn't know about this. You probably do know some of these things. I know certain people in the room absolutely do. Our child poverty index in Brighton is really high. 50% of the children in Moulsecoombe live below the poverty line. Of the 46% of the poorest children in England, 20% of them live right here on our doorstep. And there's a 10-year life expectancy difference between a man brought up in Whitehawk and a man brought up in Hove. Now, that was kind of galling to me when I first heard it, and I thought, you know, I really want to get involved and help here because TDC don't do much fundraising themselves. all their activities on delivery of projects into our community. They ask for bids from people who've already raised money, so sport relief or children in need, and they ask for money there. And I thought, actually, I can get involved and help raise awareness of you. One of the things that they do is invest in things like the Morsecombe Boxing Club. They worked with over 6,000 people last year, and they've been doing that for over a decade, changing people's futures, changing people's lives, helping prevent poor children becoming poor adults and falling into homelessness and potentially crime. So what they do with the Morsecombe Boxing Club is they ask Sport Relief for a £70,000 grant to develop the club, to make it bigger and better, have more facilities so more children could use it. And talking to one of those children, Max, it completely changed his life. He came from a very violent background and thought he didn't have a future. And his words that really stuck with me were, in 5 years, I've come from nothing to being a national champion. Oh, okay, I need to get involved here. I need to help. I want to make this bigger. So when Linda was talking to me, it felt like she was describing a 360 charity with a 360 impact on the people that they help in our community. And you know how numbers connect in your head? I don't know which direction I'm going to point in, but you know that thing being built on the seafront, that big pole that divides people's opinion on whether it's good or not, which also has a 360 in its name. The British Airways I360. I said to Linda, I wonder if they've got a charity partnership. So I phoned Sean Watkins, who's the marketing director, who I've met on a number of occasions, and said, Sean, have you got a charity partnership? And he said, no, Nick, I haven't, but your timing is immaculate. We're just about to write a brief. I was like, brilliant, can I have it? I don't know who the TDC are. I said, I know you don't. That's the reason we need to have the brief, because you want to be a beacon of innovation and discovery. What's the innovation in appointing a charity everybody knows? Every charity is worthy, but this one is going to make a difference right here in this community, exactly where you have built the I360. I was like, all right, okay, after a few more conversations, yeah, you ground me down, gave me the brief. But he said, look, you're a massive outsider, and it's a really long shot. I was like, I know, I'm up for the challenge. So that was over Christmas. We got the brief in February, and we pitched in March, and I knew we were a long shot. But the day before Mother's Day, Sean phoned me and said, you're down to the last two. I was like, yes. And as I was sitting around the table with my family on Mother's Day thinking how lucky we are, I was so determined that we needed to get this partnership. And I'm delighted to say that with the Aim High, Go Fast strategy we put together, TDC were appointed the charity of choice for the I360 on the 7th of April this year. Now, at the same time these conversations were going on, I had my dream board consultation with Dan, who's sitting right here in the front row. And Dan told me about all the things that he wanted to do, places he wanted to go, people he wanted to see. But he said, you know what, Nick, the one thing that's killing me is walking to work every day and seeing more and more homeless people on our street. And I really want to help. Can we help these people? Can we help get them into employment? Can we help them in any way, shape or form? I was like, okay, I feel exactly what you're saying. I don't know. Let's think about it. Almost on the same day, Vicky, who's also sitting here at the front, sent me the Brighton Housing Trust Christmas fundraiser video, which was about a family, and every day the advent calendar door was open, something else happened to this family which pushed them nearer homelessness, and on Christmas Eve they became homeless. And Vicky said to me, this is the view of the video, Vicky said to me, can you give this a bit of a push, because we want to make a really big indent of the fundraising activity. So I shared it with the agency, pushed it out on social media, and I got a whole barrage of people in the agency coming back to me saying, oh my God, we've got to do something to help. Now with that energy in our building, the energy from Dan and the energy from me, we're like, okay, we're not going to wait for this dream ball to drop. This one's definitely going to be part of our business plan. And I love serendipity because it just happened that one of our team knows Andy Winter, who's also sitting here, who's the CEO of the Brighton Housing Trust. And he said, yeah, I'll just phone Andy and see if we can hook up and see what we can do, which we did. And there's a reason for talking about this, because we're going to have a panel about it later to see what is going on with homelessness in our area and how we can help it. Because I believe if we collectively put our effort together, we could have a much bigger impact on our community and make life better for people around us. Hopefully you're up for that. Because make life better is a mixture of madness to help us enjoy ourselves, but also hitting hard issues in our community. The more the stuff we do together, the bigger the impact we're going to have. So I'm going to sum up. Rifa asked me to share my story, so thank you for listening. It's quite a personal one. And I'm hugely ambitious that we make life better, go beyond our four walls, and we push it into our community, and we can make life better in the world. But in doing so, keeping the agency small and having that artificial break on numbers. And when I spoke about this Chamber of Commerce a while ago, last October, somebody really challenged me on it and said, I don't think you're ambitious enough, which made me think, because I quite enjoy a challenge. And I said, well, if you're scaling your business, that's one thing, but if you're scaling your purpose, that's something else. If we were putting on more and more clients into our business, we'd have to have more and more people to service that business to generate probably more operational headaches just in the pursuit of cold, hard cash. If we stay small, we're going to have the headspace we want for working with a safari company on a pro bono basis, for buying a house and offering it up to the team, for working with charities the way we want to, from the TDC to Brighton Housing Trust, and making a film just because we can, because we think we might be in for winning a BAFTA. And that's a compelling proposition for me. It's not about a monolith of an agency making a few people at the top very rich. It's about making life better. And for me, it's the perfect drumbeat. So 3 things that I've learned on my journey, which might be useful to you going forward. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart and all the dreams within it. Don't put work first, put yourself first and your dreams. Listen to your heart, because I know from experience, one day it might stop. Rest before you're tired. I really wish somebody had said this to me when I was younger, because if you don't rest, you could crash and burn. And believe me, it hurts. We're human, we're not androids, we're meant to take time out. Yes, throw yourself at what you love, but also take time to rest. And my favourite, dance to the beat of your own drum. Jam with those who enjoy the same beat because they'll find it appealing. Don't sit on the sides, take action with this. Your energy will create energy in others. It starts with you, your beat, and your drum. Thank you.